Hi, I'm Michelle Bega with a look at what's happening in Latin America now. But first, our news trivia. This is one of the most modern space radar systems in the world, and it was recently installed in one of these countries. Which country is it? We'll have the answer later. Chile expelled 55 Venezuelans accused of either committing crimes or entering the country illegally. The detainees were sent to Caracas on a private flight. Chile may deport up to 1,500 migrants this year under a new controversial law. The law was passed 2 weeks ago after being debated in Congress for 8 long years. Last June, Uruguay was considered a public health model during the first months of the pandemic. The small South American country reported 0 COVID-19 infections. Fast forward to April 2021, and Uruguay now has the highest per capita infection rate on the planet. There are almost 1,400 cases per 100,000 inhabitants. What happened? Overconfidence and loss of risk awareness. But there is some good news. 1/3 of the population has been vaccinated, like those at this drive-through center at the country's largest airport. Former leaders of armed groups in Colombia are being threatened before they speak at the country's Truth Commission. This is going on even though no charges are brought against the leaders, as the truth is prioritized over justice. I met Maritza Buitrago Garcia, a victims' rights activist who talked to me about the importance of truth.
Se conoce la verdad del conflicto armado, lo que hay atrás. Entonces sabemos de unas guerrillas, sabemos de unos paramilitares, pero nos negamos a unas realidades, y es que hay empresarios, hay una cantidad de sectores y actores que participan en ese conflicto armado, que tienen intereses en ese conflicto armado.
Now let's go to Argentina to see why some schools are opened and others are not.
Michelle, more than a debate over education, in Argentina what we have is a political battle. We have the national government, the Peronistas, facing off against the political opposition Juntos por el Cambio, and we are still without a solution in sight. Nobody questions whether or not children should be in the classroom, and in Argentina this is particularly sensitive as most schools were closed during almost all of 2020. However, we are in the worst phase of the pandemic, and to give you an idea, the infection rate in the city of Buenos Aires is well above what the Pediatric Society considers an acceptable risk in the classroom.
Okay, now let's look at what stories we're following for next week.
First, a delegation of the indigenous Zapatista movement has embarked on a journey to Europe. Their mission is to symbolically invade Spain as Mexico marks the anniversary of the Spanish conquest in 1521. They're headed to Isla Mujeres, where they'll board a boat next week. Second, May 1st is Labor Day in most Latin American countries. Usually, unions call for street protests to demand better salaries and work conditions, but this year, demonstrations are banned in most places because of COVID-19. Most Women's Day rallies in March of 2020 resulted in an increase in infections. And third, Cuba is celebrating 55 years of the Cohiba cigar, but the Havana's festival was canceled because of COVID-19. So get ready for the Havana's World Days virtual event from May 4th to May 6th. It will feature workshops, tours of factories, and some special announcements. Registration is free, but you need to bring your own cigars.
And now the answer to our news trivia. It was B, Costa Rica. The country's new space radar system in Guanacaste is so advanced that it can detect artifacts up to 2 square centimeters orbiting the Earth. That's it for this week. We'll see you again next time on Latin America Now.